Yeah, so I'm a marine ecologist by training, and so that's pretty broad, right? And I really try to understand how systems work, right? The processes that affect the structure and the function of ecological communities. Seagrasses are like the non-charismatic marine organism, right? But they're really, really important, across the globe. They're one of the primary structural habitats and in our shallow coastal systems, not only here like in Florida and our waters, but all around the world.
Seagrass, I've been told, is a keystone species, and it provides habitat for baby fish, food for manatees, amongst other animals. Um, it also is a carbon sink, I believe. So it takes up a lot of carbon from the atmosphere, and also provides oxygen for like the marine life, but also for like us terrestrial beings to also breathe in.
They protect our shorelines from storms and waves and things of that nature. Again, they take up CO2, they provide oxygen. There's just so many things that we probably take for granted. They're just grass in the ocean, but they're really, really important in that regard. We have 1,000 people, thereabouts, moving to Florida every day, and they come here because it's a great place to be. We have access to water all the time, but the development activities on land, if they're not done carefully, can increase sedimentation into our waters, right? So the turbidity levels go up, and all of those things together reduce the amount of light that makes it to the seagrass themselves, or the seagrass blades themselves. And so it reduces the ability of the seagrasses to photosynthesize.
I actually recently learned this, but in 2011 on the East Coast, there is like a super bloom of brown algae that just like decimated all the seagrass in the Indian River Lagoon, which is a really important like productive area for like seagrass to grow. And 70% of it, I believe, died in that super bloom in 2011.
When conditions are just right, everything's moving something on shore, you've got increases in nutrients, then you just kind of perpetuate or maintain those blooms. And they're obviously quite problematic because of their toxins. Those toxins can be aerosolized, they can cause respiratory distress in humans and other animals.
And I know that it causes massive fish kills because like it is toxic, and like it's even toxic if we go to the beach and we breathe it in.
My name's Ron Fraley. I work in downtown Tampa. I've been walking the Riverwalk for over 5 years, every single day. The filth, the trash, the cans, the bottles, and all the junk that is thrown into our river on a daily basis. People are right down here. They throw the scooters in the water. They throw the cones. I know they've tried to get some of the scooters out, but if they get too many barnacles, I can show you one that's been there for 2 years. I can take you right down here and there's 4 and 5 feet of trash under the few mangroves we have left. And of course they've torn that out in many places because the developers have gotten a hold of it. There's a lot of issues here. When this high tide comes up here in Hillsborough River, it pulls out all the trash, pounds, hundreds of pounds of trash of bottles. You see some of it right here floating. Let's do localism and get people concerned with what is happening right in front of their eyes. It's disgusting. And if you come here on high tide and out when it's high and the tide is going out, you will see the trash accumulating up and down both sides of these things.
It's a highly potent neurotoxin, right, which will lead to death. And Then you have oftentimes you can have localized fish kills. You can have kind of larger fish kills, but then that just kind of exacerbates the problem. And we've lost about 6,000 acres of seagrass in the bay. Tampa Bay is a really nice place to look at as a success story, and there's a lot of people that recognized pretty early on that things were not going well, and a lot of changes were made. There were a lot of rules and regulations that were put in place to reduce those wastewater inputs into the bay, reduce the amount of nutrients that were being delivered to the bay as well. And so we're going to have to think about how our stormwater systems are designed and how we treat water in those systems again, so we can reduce the amount of nutrients that are going into the bay, so we can keep the system in a really good functional state. But I think people are up to the challenge. I really do.